Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up.
Roberta.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to J is for Justice. My name is Jay, and I'm your host. And we are just waiting for this press conference. We're going to go right over to our TV, our old school TV, and we're going to wait for this to begin. It's supposed to begin at 8 o'clock. It is 8 o'clock on the nose. Sad morning that we're waking up to. I woke up. I know you guys, most of you know that Michigan's my home state. So like the Oxford shooting, that was pretty close to home, really close to home. But I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to a text from my daughter who said, "This MSU shooting really has me scared. Sucks." Oh, I'm awake. Are we not live? We should be live, right? I guess the chat must be a little behind. All right, I'm going to go over to the good morning, Dr. Melmo. You got Dr. Melmo, Angie B, Leo, and I don't know who else, but those are your moderators this morning. So like I said, we're just waiting for this to begin. We know that the gunman is dead. The gunman allegedly shot himself. We didn't get a name overnight, so maybe we're going to get a name. There were 3 that were deceased, and there were 5 that were injured and critical, the last that I heard. Yes, Leo is our newest mod. Hey, Leo.
Roberta.
I have a clip to play with these students, though, that I typically don't like. Oh my gosh, Dr. Melmo, is that Kaylee? Not Kaylee, but Kaylee in the front row with the hat on, manning the camera. Is that her second job? All right, here we go.
Thank you, everybody. Our Spartan community is reeling today. I want to start by thanking law enforcement, including the Michigan State University Police, the Michigan State Police, the FBI, all of our local agencies, first responders, local departments, and officers as far away as Oakland County for their efforts last night. I also want to thank the incredible medical professionals at Sparrow who are working hard to care for those injured, as well as all the community members that shared tips so that our law enforcement could act. We mourn the loss of beautiful souls today and pray for those who are continuing to fight for their lives. Every Spartan student, parent, and staff member should know that Michiganders and Americans everywhere are thinking of you today. President Biden and I spoke last night. He pledged his support and the thoughts of an entire nation, and we will work together to do what is necessary to help MSU community heal. We're all broken by an all too familiar feeling. Another place that is supposed to be about community and togetherness, shattered by bullets and bloodshed. We know this is a uniquely American problem. Today is the 5th anniversary of the Parkland shooting. We're mere weeks past the Lunar New Year shooting at a dance hall, and a few months past a shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde. And looking back at a year marked by shootings at grocery stores, parades, and so many other ordinary, everyday situations, we cannot keep living like this. Our children are scared to go to school. People feel unsafe in their houses of worship or local stores. Too many of us scan rooms for exits when we enter them. And many of us have gone through the grim exercise of figuring out who the last call would be to. Last night, a lot of kids on this campus made those calls. They worried for their lives and for their friends, for their fellow Spartans. Parents across Michigan were on pins and needles, calling their kids to tell them that they love them. As parents, we tell our kids, it's going to be okay. We say that all the time. But the truth is, words are not good enough. We must act, and we will. But today, let's hold the MSU and East Lansing communities close. And let's think of the families and friends of those who have lost, those fighting for their lives, and the countless Michiganders whose lives are forever changed by yesterday's shooting. We will get through this together, and we will do it with the full support of the state of Michigan and the U.S. federal government. And with that, I would like to hand this over to our Congresswoman Melissa Slotkin.
Thanks, Governor. I want to echo what the governor said about the response of law enforcement. Those of you who might have been listening on the scanner, you heard how deeply complex this operation was yesterday, with young people calling in tips constantly, with an unbelievably difficult area of environment to navigate. Law enforcement did an incredible job. We had hundreds respond from across the state. And I think it's a testament to those who hold the thin blue line for us, the ones that hesitate or do not hesitate when we need them. And I think we should recognize how desperately needed they were last night and in our society in general. I want to thank the doctors and nurses and staff at Sparrow Hospital. They were on it. No one wants to live through a mass shooting like this, but they were prepared and they handled it with grace and humanity. As the representative of Oxford, Michigan, I cannot believe that I am here again doing this 15 months later. And I am filled with rage that we have to have another press conference to talk about our children being killed in their schools. And I would say that you either care about protecting kids or you don't. You either care about having an open, honest conversation about what is going on in our society or you don't. But please don't tell me you care about the safety of children if you're not willing to have a conversation about keeping them safe in a place that should be a sanctuary. Now, the Spartan community is incredibly connected and proud. We've already seen people come together. But for me, the most haunting picture of last night was watching the cameras pan through the crowds and seeing a young person wearing an Oxford Strong sweatshirt. The sweatshirts that were handed out after those kids lived through a school shooting 15 months ago. And we have children in Michigan who are living through their second school shooting in under a year and a half. If this is not a wake-up call to do something, I don't know what is. In the meantime, I feel confident that our law enforcement is doing everything that they can to understand the situation. I'm thrilled that federal law enforcement is on scene, bringing their resources to the fight. We're not going to rest until we understand. But I think the fact that we're having this conference so quickly after another mass shooting in our state should be a statement in and of itself. Thanks very much.
She switched gears fast.
Well, on behalf of the community, I'm Mayor Andy Shore. Mayor Ron Bacon, East Lansing.
City of Lansing. This is the morning that nobody ever wants to have. This is the day that nobody ever wants to be standing up at a lectern. When you get elected, you want to talk about the great things in your community and not this. But here we are. I do want to thank the Lansing residents who stood up. These many tips you've heard about came in from many of our residents, and as a result, the shooter was identified and the threat was neutralized. So we are very proud of our citizens in Lansing. There's going to be so much fear. It's not just the students, it's the community. I've heard from parents and citizens who didn't know what was going on. So I want to share, we have a community mental health resource that is open 24/7. It's a crisis services department, 517-346-8200. And I also want to share in the incredible job that was done by our law enforcement, LPD, ELPD, state police, Ingham County, and of course MSU. This is what they train for, and today and yesterday they were able to show that they are prepared. It's not something you ever want to do when you train, but they were prepared and they were excellent.
As of today, East Lansing Hannah Center will be available to students in need of resources, and counseling will be available all day. We'll be working with the Department of Health Services today as well to extend other additional things to the community. I just want to say, as mayor of East Lansing, when I introduce myself, I'm the mayor of East Lansing, home of Michigan State University. We are indivisible. This Spartan Will thing is real. I want to send out my deepest regrets and remorse to the families that lost children, the fear stricken in the children. At Michigan State, for my children, I'm a dad here in this community, is like a playground for them. It's where you go and have your first experiences and taste of college life and fun and all those types of things. And I'm just shattered today. My heart aches for our community, and we'll be present. We'll be here in support. President Woodruff, the entire community of Michigan State University will stand hand in hand, and this is just the beginning. We will find a way forward. I don't want to stand up here and try to communicate that we have the answers at this point, but as Congressperson Slotkin said, we're going to find the answers, and we're going to figure some stuff out here. This has gone far enough. Thank you.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Denny Martin. I'm the interim president and chief medical officer at Sparrow Hospital, Lansing. I think a lot of very dry mouths up here this morning, so bear with us and appreciate your patience. I can confirm that last evening we cared for 5 individuals who were brought to Sparrow Hospital from East Lansing campus. The team in our Level 1 Trauma Center with our emergency medicine physicians and trauma surgeons were waiting for them upon their arrival. I will give a lot of thanks to the individuals, the first responders on the scene. Our ability to care for these individuals starts in the field, and they did a fantastic job. 4 of those individuals did require surgical intervention to treat their injuries. 1 individual did not and was taken to the critical care unit after being triaged in the emergency department. All 5 individuals remained in critical condition this morning. I want to thank the overwhelming response from our team, everyone in our Level 1 Trauma Center. This is something we talked about this morning that we practice for very often, but never want to have to do. And we did it amazingly well. I'm very proud of everyone. The was led by our emergency department physicians, again with our trauma surgeons, but can't forget we had general surgeons, cardiothoracic surgeons, neurosurgeons. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night, sorry. So many people that just came in. lot of texts that were just, I'm on my way, just within people showing up. Where do you need me? It was sad, but very proud night for all of us here. So I can't speak to anything about the identity of the individuals, but I'm sure we'll have some time for questions afterwards. But again, everyone is in critical condition at this time, but actively being cared for by our team at Sparrow. So thank you all.
Good morning. My name is Teresa Woodruff, and I serve as the interim president here. And our Spartan hearts are broken. We're grieving, but as a community, we're grieving together. We struggle to comprehend. We lost families, friends, classmates, and our hearts go out to the victims and families of this senseless tragedy. And we offer to each of them the peace that passeth understanding. We continue to think for our medical professionals at Sparrow, and we know that they are taking the best care possible of our students. To our students, we have available to you the support that you need at the Hannah Community Center, as was mentioned by Mayor Bacon. This includes counseling and psychological services, as well as employee assistance programs for our faculty and staff. And we're deeply appreciative to the governor for reaching out directly to President Biden and for the offer of additional mental health services for our community. As a university, we also thank our law enforcement colleagues, both here and in multiple jurisdictions, who responded immediately and continue to protect our community today and each day. I want to thank the staff who are on campus today. MSU is on modified operations, which means we're on essential personnel only for today and for tomorrow. And those staff who are here to support our 17,000 students who are on campus and our 50,000 students across this great university, we thank you. I also thank directly our students, faculty, and staff who complied with the request to shelter in place for hours at end without knowing exactly what was happening. We thank you for your courage to maintain that shelter, which allowed our law enforcement to take the actions that they did. We ask each of you to honor your feelings and to take care of yourself and each other, and together we will come back more resilient than ever and more ready to face what is needed in this society, which is the courage of all of us to ensure that this never happens again.
Good morning. I'm Marlon Lynch, Vice President for Public Safety and Chief of Police here at Michigan State University. You've heard by several people in regards to the response of first responders last night. Their work continued through the night, processing crime scenes, obtaining additional statements, additional evidence, tireless work hours. We're not only bound by our duty, but a large percentage of us are invested in our community. We went to school here, we have children here, we have family. This is us. This is part of us. These partnerships are great. Our processes will continue with this. We will continuously be joined by our partners as we are here today with the FBI, the state police, as well as Lansing Police Department in East Lansing. And I hate to even go down the list because there's so many agencies that responded last night, continuously responding and asking how can they help. And it was all in a timely manner, very timely with that. You will hear a recap of the incident and as well as some updates based on the events that have occurred overnight in regards to our students that were involved and also the suspect.
Good morning. Deputy Chief Chris Rosman with the Michigan State University Police and Public Safety. As you can tell, this has been a long night for a lot of us. We have been committed from the beginning to being as transparent and getting as much information out as possible. And we're going to continue to do that throughout the day and as this investigation moves forward. I'm going to start with a brief recap of the incident yesterday. This tragic situation unfolded shortly before 8:30 p.m. The first call that we received was from Berkey Hall. Berkey Hall is an academic building on our northern campus that borders downtown East Lansing. Initial calls reported shots fired in that building, and there was a absolutely overwhelming police response to that initial call. We had officers in that building within minutes, and in that building they encountered several students who were injured. We can confirm that 2 of the deceased were in Berkey Hall, along with several of the victims. While the officers were managing that scene at Berkey Hall, we began receiving additional reports of another shooting at the MSU Union building, just to the west of Berkey Hall, right on the corner of Abbott and Grand River. Officers redeployed to that location, where we did locate 1 additional victim. We do have 3 total deceased and 5 victims at the hospital. We can confirm that all 3 deceased were MSU students. We can also confirm at this time that all 5 of the injured victims at the hospital were also MSU students. We will release the names of those students later today, once we work through some notifications and make sure that the family's aware that we're going to release those names. The suspect in this case was located at approximately 11:35 p.m. in the city of Lansing. The suspect was located by units that were assisting in looking for that suspect after the shootings. The suspect is deceased due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and we are prepared to release the name of the person who committed these homicides at this time. We have previously confirmed that he was 43 years old. He's a male. His name is Anthony. Last name is McCrae, M-C-R-A-E. Anthony Dwayne McCrae is a 43-year-old male. We would like to sincerely thank our community for their help. Because of our quick release of the photograph from the campus security cameras and the help from our community, it was a caller's tip that led law enforcement to that suspect in the city of Lansing. We cannot thank the public and the community and the person who called in that report enough for being observant, for following our messaging, and for being vigilant and contacting us immediately. We will continue to share resources for the MSU community through our institutional website and our MSU Police and Public Safety social media pages. We know that this news may be difficult for those within our campus community and beyond, and it's important to remember that the grief that some individuals may be experiencing is normal, and there are a number of ways in which individuals can seek support, including talking with friends, family, and colleagues to process this, and taking advantage of many of the resources that we have provided. We are prepared at this point to take some questions. Sure. I'm going to turn it over to Special Agent in Charge, Jim Taraskin.
Good morning. I'm Jim Taraska, the Special Agent in charge of the FBI in Michigan. First of all, our hearts go out to all the victims, their families, the students, and the community. This happens much too often. I'd like to thank all our partners in law enforcement. Chief, once again, thanks for your leadership. Just great examples of leadership last night from all the agencies that showed up short notice and showed selfless sacrifice to attempt to identify, find the subject, and eliminate the threat. Last night when this occurred, many agencies arrived on scene. The FBI deployed agents, analysts, and specialty teams to help in the effort to help the victims and to also find the individual responsible, which occurred. Thanks to law enforcement. Law enforcement here in Michigan, it's the best I've seen in my 30 years in law enforcement. And I was very proud of our community, in law enforcement and the community at large, to come together to resolve this issue, this matter. And we'll continue working in the future hand in hand to mitigate these threats and try to make Michigan as safe a place as we can for our families. Thank you.
So I think we are prepared to take some questions now. Again, I do have to reiterate, this is still fluid. It's still ongoing. There are still crime scenes that are being processed, and we still are in the process of putting together the pieces to try to solve, to try to understand what happened and why it may have happened. So we're still working through that. So we will go ahead and take some questions at this time.
Deputy Chief, can you discuss at all potential?
Go ahead right there.
Thank you. There was a large police presence at a home on Preston Avenue and East Howe Avenue in Lansing. Was that the suspect's home?
So I can't confirm the actual location or address. We are aware that there was a search warrant executed on a residence that was connected to the suspect in this case. We're not prepared to share that specific location at this point.
In other words, yes.
So at this point, we have no additional information on the actual weapon that was used in the incident. Those are things that we will continue to process and look at today as part of our investigation.
Did you recover the weapon?
We did recover a weapon, yes.
So
Right there.
7 of the 8 victims are Berkeley Hall. The 8 is at the Union, and the Union victim also is one that passed away. Is that correct?
There were two of the victims from Berkey Hall are deceased. One victim from the Union is deceased. There are 5 additional victims that are at Sparrow Hospital. I cannot confirm where all 5 of those victims, which building they were in. I believe most of them were from Berkey Hall, but I can't confirm that. I'm going to go right there. Yes.
I understand that first, you said officers arrived shortly after the 8:30 call, but in the second building, what can you describe the timetable of what it took to get to the MSU Union building? Because officers were already within a distance of where this happened.
Yeah, the MSU Union is within very close proximity to Berkey Hall. It's within walking distance. I would describe it as less than a block to the west of Berkey Hall. All indications at this point point to the fact that the suspect exited Berkey Hall and walked over to the MSU Union. When those calls initially started coming in from the Union, we were able to quickly redeploy resources to the Union, and the suspect actually quickly fled that building. He was not in the building for that long.
So when you say redeployed, how much of a timetable is between that?
I can't get into specifics on the time frame right now, but that will be part of the investigation that we'll look at is the time between those two incidents.
Hi, Baby D.
Right there.
Has the suspect had any previous interaction with law enforcement?
So that's part of our investigation today is to look at the suspect, his background, his history. Those are things that are occurring with our state and federal partners right now who have really taken the lead on helping us with identify the suspect, especially since that incident did occur off campus. But those are things that we're looking at today, and those will be integral to the investigation in the background.
Deputy Chief, can you shed any light as to the why this happened, what his motive was, why he chose Michigan State?
You know, we had the same question last night, and we have the same answer this morning. We have absolutely no idea what the motive was at this point. We can confirm that the 43-year-old suspect had no affiliation to the university. He was not a student, faculty, staff, current or previous. So that's an unknown right now, and that's what we're trying to understand is why this incident occurred. I know everybody wants to know what the motive is. We don't have an answer right now, and that's the honest truth.
Was anything found inside of his home that might help with that?
I can't comment on what was located in the residence as part of that search warrant, but that is part of the ongoing investigation. Right there.
Last week, several schools in Okemos and other schools across the state were shut down for an active shooting, which was determined to be a hoax. Have you determined if there's any connection to that at this point?
So I won't get into that in detail. Obviously, we're looking at the possibility of any connection. What I will say is there doesn't appear to be initially. But those are the type of things that our state and federal partners are really going to look at. But initially, it does not appear that there's any connection. In the back right there. Blue, Channel 7.
I understand that police made contact with the suspect before he shot himself. Can you explain what that contact was and what was the time frame from when he hung himself?
So I don't have any additional information on the sequence of events when law enforcement contacted the suspect. There was a tip called in from an alert citizen that reported the suspect. That call was dispatched to resources that we had deployed in the field. We had so many police officers on campus. As part of our unified command structure, we started deploying resources off campus in order to respond to reports just like this. And the responding officers encountered the suspect. And I can't comment more on that actual interaction. That is being investigated by the Michigan State Police right now. Right there.
Does Mr. McCray live in this community first, and then also for the medical personnel here? Can you tell us anything more about the extent of the injuries on the side?
I'll start with that, and I'll turn it over to the doc. We're still working to ascertain place of residence for the suspect. As we have said all along, we want to make sure any information that we share is accurate, and we are still working to determine place of hometown and residence for the suspect.
Yeah. There wasn't a consistent injury pattern with the individuals that were brought to the hospital, but the initial reports last evening that the injuries were life-threatening was correct. But there wasn't a consistent nature. It was a variety of injuries associated with the gunshots that came in.
Chief, were there any other weapons recovered on the suspect or around the suspect after he took his own life, and weapons and or ammunition?
So again, I can't comment on that specifically. That will be part of the investigation. That scene that occurred is being investigated by the Michigan State Police. And I can't comment on what evidence was recovered at that specific scene.
But you did say that you recovered one weapon.
We do have at least one weapon, yes.
Used in the incident on campus?
That's part of the investigation, and we'll work to determine that.
We'll take one more question.
La, 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 la.
We'll go two. We'll come back to
that. In regard to the timing of the tip, roughly you came out at around 11 o'clock shortly thereafter with the first news briefing and released the picture. The suspect was encountered before midnight, so this tip came within minutes of you guys releasing this photo, or can you clarify?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. As soon as during this incident, when it was ongoing, and you can imagine the number of moving pieces, we had MSU Police and Public Safety investigators reviewing surveillance footage, and they quickly determined that we had a picture of the suspect, and we quickly disseminated that publicly. And you are correct, it was shortly after we released it that he was recognized by an alert citizen. And so the time frame was pretty quick after we released it. So we commend the community and the citizen that called that in, and that was exactly what we were trying to achieve by releasing that picture, was to generate immediate tips for this person that was mobile, that we had no idea where he was at that point.
And if I may, did any of the victims or anybody that might have been a proximity say if the suspect said anything or just came in shooting, or can you clarify at all how it transpired?
So that'll be part of the investigation in terms of what the suspect did or said.
The students will tell us, don't worry.
Witnesses that we have interviewed, and we will start to put those pieces together and see. But I don't have that information right now in terms of what the suspect said or anything when he committed these heinous crimes. In the back, that's.
How long will resources be provided to students on top of, will there be any extensions on school-related school activities?
Hey, Robin.
We will provide the resources the students need for the time period they need, and again, we thank the federal government for their response. We will be in modified operations for the next 2 days, and then we will move into a period where classes will be canceled until Monday morning, but campus operations will resume.
Can we ask the medical staff one other question?
One more.
Yeah, get the gynecologist up there.
The patients are still in critical condition. Can you tell us what their prognosis is?
Right.
For recovery?
It's still very early on. This is the injuries occurred just over 12 hours ago, so their conditions are evolving. Again, I'll say that they're all absolutely in a critical condition, but there's varying degrees of that. But I think it's just too early. It's too early on in their course to give any kind of prognosis.
I mean, can you tell us how many times they were shot?
Number of male and female victims that you can provide for us?
No, not at this time. We can't identify anyone. Yep.
What you are witnessing is real.
So, appreciate everybody coming this morning. We are going to continue to share information. That concludes this briefing. We will be here today and working around the clock to provide resources and to continue this investigation, and we will continue to provide information.
You can't tell me with your accent that. Keep it the fallout.
Oh my
Keep
God.
It the fallout. Keep it la 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 la.
Frustrating. I'm not going to say that, props off to these officers and everybody who responded to this last night, but they're missing such a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to the public and the students. And what I mean by that is I think they need to be a little more transparent because the students are going to talk. I mean, we were already hearing stories, and we're going to listen to some right now from the students. It infuriates me when we have scared students that are paying to go to this school and they're left with more questions than answers. And why wasn't the doctor there to say, we have 3 that were deceased. We have 5. One victim, has multiple gunshot. One, I mean, come on. They could still talk about something. Hey, upstate, we had a shooting, 3 deceased at Michigan State University in Michigan, obviously. I'm going to share with you some of these screenshots that were put out there. Now, this was one that was put out by someone named Brendan Melling. He took this picture out of a window, and it's unclear if this is law enforcement or if this is perpetrators. So that I'm unsure. And then here is another one of the perp, if you haven't seen it. Notice you can never, in all these shots, you can't see his face at all. And it was definitely a shit show last night, you guys. I was overwhelmed by it. I'm not going to lie. I literally went to sleep because I just couldn't listen to it anymore. But I was watching that agenda-free TV, and he had the scanner on, and it was possibly the most insane thing I've heard. Chaotic, in the moment. So is this dude wearing a Levi's jean jacket with the furry collar and a mask? And nobody's going to remember you with red shoes. Like, what? Wait a minute. 43-year-old black male. Okay, let's talk for a minute. We don't all know this because we're not all from Michigan. Could this have something to do with the Michigan versus Michigan State? Remember the brawl and kids got kicked out of school? I mean, these football players lost their future. Could that have something to do with it? Could this be like someone's dad? I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about that whole incident. I know that some of these boys lost their futures. And I think they were actually criminally punished. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that? I want to know, because they said last night there was activities going on. I want to know what activities. Because it's kind of important, right? Like, what were they doing who was there? What kind of activity was it? He has glasses on? Really? I can't. Let me see if I can. Ooh. It does look like he kind of has glasses on. Well, maybe he offed himself because he knew he was cornered, It was like desperation. He doesn't look to be very tall. He's definitely got some kind of a backpack on. So they would have all of his... Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to... Oh my gosh, yes, Robin, it was big news. Let me pull it up. I'm not saying that has anything to do with it. Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying this just happened. And I never really followed up too much other than I saw some of the kids got expelled. I mean, it was bad. It was assault. All right, MSU, Michigan fight. And it was in... This is only 3 months ago. 2 Michigan players were assaulted by Michigan State in post-game tunnel incident. 4 MSU players suspended. Look. All right, hold on. Let's watch this one. I say look and you can't see it. Hold on, you guys. And then we're going to watch these students. I don't want to deflect, but it just popped in my head and I'm like, wait a minute. Could it be connected? Could someone have just lost their damn mind and been, feeling, I don't know, desperate? Oh, shit. Okay. 4 MSU players suspended. Let's watch this one.
Post-game trouble in the tunnel that is making headlines. Witnesses say University of Michigan players were assaulted after Saturday's rivalry game with Michigan State. 4 Michigan State players are now suspended. 1 Michigan player has retained a lawyer. And the question now is, will there be criminal charges? 7 Action News reporter Simon Shaquette went in search of answers.
As both football programs condemn the violence that took place here at the Big House following Saturday's game, a former prosecutor is now spelling out what could come from a police investigation. It's the kind of footage that's led to both disappointment and disgust being expressed by coaches, athletic directors, and school presidents for both MSU and U of M.
The video shows, 4, 5, 6 on one, and 4, 5, 6 on another. I can't imagine that this will not result in criminal charges.
We're not here to make any excuses for the behaviors Saturday. They are unacceptable. We're deeply sorry to both universities.
Following Saturday's game win by the University of Michigan, as several Michigan State players have already been suspended. We've now learned Wolverine Jermon Green has hired an attorney and plans to proceed with pressing charges after video emerged showing him being struck repeatedly with a helmet by a Spartan player. This ugly incident now under investigation by campus police, who say the investigation is ongoing. As Coach Jim Harbaugh says, an apology is not enough.
That's felonious assault. That's using a dangerous object in a deadly way to a guy that has his head exposed.
Legal expert and former prosecutor Todd Flood says he has no doubt this video depicts a criminal act, and it's possible others participating here could also be held criminally responsible. Michigan football coach Jim Harbaugh initially alluding to 2 players being hurt, one possibly with a broken nose, another also injured.
That's a criminal act. When I take a helmet and I swing it at your head, right? Imagine the damage you can do to that person. You can kill that person.
Yep.
So far, the Michigan team has also not suggested any plan to change a 100-year-old tradition in the tunnel that's recently led to members of both teams passing through around the same time, even despite a separate issue with Penn State the previous weekend. In the meantime, some students on both campuses sharing their disbelief.
I just think we need to be a team and not do that kind of stuff.
I didn't like seeing it as an MSU student, for sure.
I would say it would be a physical assault, yeah.
The strikings were very hard, very real, so I do think it can be considered as a criminal act.
We've also reached out to the prosecutor's office here in Washtenaw County for comment, but so far they are declining, citing an ongoing investigation.
So there you go. That's what happened. It's a big deal. I mean, we've got lawyers involved. We've got criminal charges. It's not good. It's not good. So here's a short clip. This is only 30 seconds. This is a clip that someone took of the madness. This will give you an idea. That was 3 months ago. This will give you an idea. And we all know those football players, you know, even if they don't get the grades, they get pushed through. So if that was taken, their career was taken, I could see someone losing their mind. We don't know. We don't know who the targets were. We don't know who the victims are. We don't know what was going on when the shooting took place. We have no idea. But here's a clip for you.
Not gonna lie to you,
I don't know. You guys would have to check out the rosters and all that for last names. All right. That was just a clip of the footage. Now I want to show you. We have firsthand accounts. And, you know, these people, the parents of these kids are on Reddit, Michigan and Michigan State, and they are not liking this run, hide, fight. They say this shit is fucking sickening, and I hope we can pull through as a community. That's what the name of their rescue thing is, I guess. Run, hide, fight. All right, hold up. Let me get this pulled up. The students, this to me, and I'm just going to warn you guys, I'm not a crier by any means. It takes a lot for things like this for me to let it get to me. This made me tear up. Hearing these kids. We're talking about freshmen.
Brett, are you able to give us a sense of what you are seeing at this moment?
Yeah, Brian, and I genuinely, I'm going to try to describe this in words, but it is genuinely just a sense of chaos. We pulled up, I should say. We saw students walking out of, I believe that was Acres Hall with their hands up. We're right by Acres. McDonald Hall is right down the road here. But we just saw students walking their hands up. They don't know where to go. And again, we talked about earlier, there's allegedly, from what they've tweeted out, that they still don't have anyone in custody. So we've heard, they put out a description real quick, but there's just a lot of chaos. I actually have a couple students here, if you don't mind hopping in and just
These girls are the real MVPs today.
shooters in the cafeteria, correct?
Yeah, we were in the dining hall, and my brother called me before anyone else knew, and he was like, there's a shooter. And so I was about to go to my dorm, so I'm on the 3rd floor of Acres, and just locked the door and turned the lights off. And then I went to the door, they already had them all locked. And
okay,
then
she talks very fast, but she gives a lot of information. Her brother called her before the campus was even notified. Did you hear that?
And my brother called me before anyone else knew, and he was like, there's a shooter. And so I was about to go to my dorm, so I'm on the 3rd floor of Acres, and just locked the door and turned the lights off. And then I went to the door, they already had them all locked. And then they told us to just stay put. They weren't telling us where they were. They weren't telling us anything.
She couldn't get to her dorm. This is petrifying to me. This poor girl, she's a freshman.
Blockade the door. I was like, can I block the door? And he said, no, you need to stay calm, stay put. They wouldn't let us block the door. They wouldn't tell us anything. And then finally, once someone heard shooting literally in the courtyard of the building, everyone just started rushing, blocking the door. And then one of the far doors, I was in the middle, one of the far doors, people just looked, and I think the door opened. I don't even know if it was a shooter or just a person, but everyone started running and screaming. So we sprinted out the other way, we ran down the stairs, and then we came out the building. We walked out, and there were like 5 officers with like huge guns, and we all had to put our hands up, lift our shirts up. They were like, and then they just told us to go lay in a field. So we ran through that parking structure with a bunch of people, but I figured it wasn't smart to be in a parking structure with a bunch of people right by the shooter. So we ran here because we saw cop lights, and there's no cops. So
well, that's what we saw you guys running out of there with your hands up. You told me you were told to go run in the field.
They ran towards cop lights, and there was no fucking cops. Shouldn't some cops have stayed back? So listen to this. They ran for safety to the news crew. They ran for safety to the news crew. This campus was not prepared at all. They had them go to their dorms, but she couldn't get in. Her dorm was blocked.
Us over here because we had a couple other media here, but there's a few police officers. We don't know, I guess it's not like the roads were blocked off coming into campus. That's what we were trying to figure out.
I couldn't tell you. I do not feel secure whatsoever. There are these cops with giant guns literally just telling us to literally about the size of like half of my wingspan.
It was like 200 people probably.
They said lift our shirts, put our hands up so they could see our waistline. They told us to run in the opposite direction, maybe lay in a field so we weren't visible. There were people crowding in the parking structure, and I was like, we can't be here. People are going to look for these crowds. But when we were, all I heard was screaming. All I heard is, quote unquote, they're shooting because Hubbard is right next to Acres, which is where we were. And that was that. I sprinted. I'm jumping over these flights of stairs, and mind is blank.
People were like climbing on top of each other to get out, like scaling tables, jumping down entire flights of stairs, just sprinting.
And keep in mind, this is freshly when we had just barricaded these doors. It took them minutes.
We hadn't even finished blockading the door.
At least it took them minutes to even let us convince them to blockade the doors.
And there was no security. It was just lunch ladies.
Exactly. And by the time we were already running.
You hear that? There was no security. There was just lunch ladies. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but are you fucking kidding me? What?
Out, like scaling tables, jumping down entire flights of stairs.
That.
Just sprinting.
And keep in mind, this is freshly when we had just barricaded these doors. It took them minutes.
We hadn't even finished blockading the door.
At least. It took them minutes to even let us convince them to blockade the doors.
And there was no security. It was just lunch ladies.
Exactly. And by the time we were already running. There was nothing we can do. There were people still doing the dishes, staff still doing their jobs. Like, people think these things aren't going to happen to them until they do. And
this girl is smarter than the average bear. This other girl, now mind you, the other girl, the first girl that was talking, is frantically looking around for her friend. She's trying to find her friend.
I can't think. I can't speak. I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow and think this was a fever dream. I genuinely have no words for this entire situation.
We had so many like gun drills in high school, but it was never real.
Yeah.
And it was always soft lockdowns because it was like someone wrote something on the wall.
But
now it's like real. And the high school treated this with 10 times more urgency than they're treating this.
Absolutely. I was talking to my best friend Rada, one of our best friends who is now
locked in a building over there.
Yeah. We were talking about this on our way to drop my partner off, and we're like, yeah, These things still happen. Gun violence is an issue. This is an issue on campuses and high schools, any educational institution. We were literally talking about this issue yesterday, and never did I think this would happen the next day. I literally, I have no words. I really don't.
And just given the fact that they were talking about this person may still be out there, we know that a scene we had is IM East, which is pretty much right where we're at. We know that was a confirmed scene. You're getting reports just anecdotally from social media, from text of shooting here, shooting there. I mean, do you feel that there's a safe place to go? I mean, you ran towards us to take cover in the news van even. So, I mean, do you feel there's a safe place to go right now?
We saw lights and we sprinted. That was it.
Yeah. Because there was no cops.
We saw the cops with the giant guns near the bus stop. We ran with our hands up. I'm on the phone with my mom. I've got people blowing up my phone. I don't know where I need to go. I don't know where the suspect is. We have a vague description.
We don't even know we don't know how many suspects there are.
Yeah, they're suspected, one shooter, 2, 3, 4.
And they're supposedly everywhere. It was like, they're at Brody, which is 30 minutes that way. So we're like, it's fine. And then all of a sudden they're in the courtyard, literally outside of the building that we're in.
It's absolutely, it's just, when you hear things through word of mouth, sometimes it can be for no reason other than fear mongering. But when it comes to something like this, when you hear exactly, when you hear, there are shots at IM East and there are shots at Brody 5 minutes later, when that's a 35-minute walk, maybe 40, that's how you know there's not just one suspect. That's how you know there are people hurt, there are people dying, and there needs to be something done. There are no roads blocked down, there's no blockages. There are just these cops with giant guns that haven't seen anyone, haven't caught anyone.
They don't seem to even know what's happening. They couldn't give us any directions. The cops' directions was run.
Literally.
What is that? You're supposed to tell us where to go. We're 18, most of us. We have no idea what's happening. We've been here. I've been here for a month. I don't even know where any of the buildings are. People saying they're in Hubbard. I don't know where Hubbard is.
It's crazy because maybe over an hour ago, 2 hours ago, literally my plan was eat dinner with friends, go work out.
Yeah, we didn't get to go to the gym. I just took a test. My only worry today was that I was going to fail my test.
And here we are literally running for our lives.
Yeah, nothing matters. Nothing matters. Everyone was stressed for that test. I was freaking out. Nothing matters. I could have just died.
Hey, I said this earlier. They need to be shaving half of my tuition off for this.
Oh my God.
Well, we thank you glad you're safe and glad it looks like she just found her friend that ran out of the building. That's the one they've been on the phone with, I would assume, for quite a while. You can just see the raw emotion of everything here on campus. It is just a very, I don't even know how to describe it. When we first showed up, it seemed like students were scared. They didn't know where to go. They were running towards us, as I mentioned. We even have a couple of students in our news van right now just taking cover because they don't know where to go. And again, there's just so much confusion.
That got to me.
Not gonna lie to you,
What really got me was we didn't know where to go. I didn't know where this building was, et cetera, et cetera. All right, I've got something else to show you guys. Hold on. Let me pull it up. This is their plan. Run, hide, fight. This is what they are taught. Run when there is an active threat. Once you are safe, call 4911. Hide. If escape is not possible, hide. Block the door, avoid windows, and silence your cell. And then, what does that say under that banner? Let's see. Fight only as a last resort and if your life is in danger. I don't know. Let's watch a video on what they're taught. for their plan. The fuck?
If you were ever to find yourself in the middle of an active shooter event, your survival may depend on whether or not you have a plan. The plan doesn't have to be complicated. There are 3 things you could do that make a difference. Run, hide, fight. First and foremost, if you can get out,
Fucking kidding me?
do. Always try and escape or evacuate, even when others insist on staying. Encourage others to leave with you, but don't let them slow you down with indecision.
Sounds like the Bud Light commercial guy.
Remember what's important, you, not your stuff. Leave your belongings behind and try to find a way to get out safely. Trying to get yourself out of harm's way needs to be your #1 priority. Once you are out of the line of fire, try to prevent others from walking into the danger zone and call 911. If you can't get out safely, you need to find a place to hide.
What the fuck?
Act quickly and quietly. Try to secure your hiding place the best you can. Turn out lights, and if possible, remember to lock doors. Silence your ringer and vibration mode on your cell phone. And if you can't find a safe room or closet, try to conceal yourself behind large objects that may protect you. Do your best to remain quiet and calm. As a last resort, if your life is at risk, whether you are alone or working
Or you
together
have
as a
someone that
group,
won't be quiet.
fight. Act with aggression. Improvise weapons. Disarm him.
It's my
And
soundboard.
commit to taking the shooter down, no matter what.
Ooh.
In the name of
Try to be
Jesus,
aware of
Father
your
God,
environment. Always have an exit plan.
Department of Homeland Security grant-funded project. Produced by the City of Houston Mayor's Office of Public Safety and Homeland Security. This isn't some homemade shit. They're basically telling you, you're on your frickin' own. You're on your own. You either run, you hide, or you fight back. This is implemented at all universities. This is St. Mary's College of Maryland. They do it too. Oh, the video is awful. It's awful. I'm going to give some credit to Agenda Free TV. We're going to play a little bit of this because I wanted you guys to hear what the scanner sounded like last night.
Staff members.
And this was starting at, I think he went live at 8:20 p.m. Eastern time.
10-4, any responding units to go to the Unified Command for assignment. It's going to be the President's house.
Additional Eagle. You still want to see at that hall? Hamilton, go.
Did they say something about the President's house?
What's your location?
We're at Brody. React Team 2 is en route to Phillips.
T47, give me an RTF team. I need them to respond to the original location where this started.
Hey, I got Officer Grunger that needs you to give him a call. Got his phone number if you need it.
173-347, RTF3 is available.
Copy.
Okay, I got it.
Thank you. RTF3, can you respond to Berkey Hall then, the original location?
635, Berkey 4, first checks have all been done. 493.
Copy. The Berkey checks have been clear then?
There's a shooter at Michigan State University.
We got one injured that came out. We're just securing him.
I wish I could find it with no talking, but he cuts in, unfortunately.
Copy.
Per 480, I'm locking down West Campus right now, just letting you know.
He does do a good job. He needs to get some
Hey,
sleep.
Slade, what's clue? Where's Unified Command at?
93 dispatch. Are we evacuating or shelter in place?
Fine.
Myself and 678 are here plain clothes. We're going to Phillips right now.
Copy. I'm sorry.
So there
I'm
were
just-
cops in plain clothes. So that might be that picture. Let me bring that picture up again that I showed you guys earlier.
Building. There's no shelter, anything that he mentioned of, just securing all the buildings right now.
10-4.
Why is that person all nonchalant? Like,
653, where are we sending witnesses? 653, where are we sending witnesses?
31, we haven't established a point yet. Incident command is at Kyle's house. I don't know if we want to set somewhere south of that or closer to Beaumont Tower. Your call.
why would they set up at someone's
347,
house?
all witnesses go to Langston Hall cafeteria, I believe.
Copy all witnesses to Landon Hall cafeteria.
18 Adam 82.
Go ahead.
6-3.
Wait.
603.
6 is service to 0500. Yeah, MSU.
City still incident command in Brody. Do we have a status on that? No, I have two. Went to Brody. The no shot that we originated at Berkey Hall. Brody Hall at this time has nothing reported going on. Yes, I'll have you head towards the Unified Command Center. Currently, they're at the President's house. It's going to be behind East Circle Road. Berkey Hall is where shots were first fired. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I'll be en route.
631, I've got one victim coming out. West Stairwell Union on Abbott.
West Stairwell Union, one victim coming out.
Oh, I know. Breaking news. Breaking news.
We are listening to the scanner. We're listening to the live scanner,
Okay,
trying to get
take them
information
then?
for you.
Museum, if we can get entry.
Broad Art Museum.
React Team 2. On scene at Phillips. We're gonna start moving.
880 to Adam 1 or 4 on counterattack.
347, I've got two RTF teams ready for tasking.
880 to 1 and 4 on counterattack.
Okay, I have two teams at Phillips Hall right now, getting ready to make entry. There you counterattack best traffic. Copy. Almost done. Clear 3. Clearing. Finishing clearing 4.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
347, I've got Trasky's RTF heading over to support the other location here.
10-4. There's an Eaton County deputy at Phillips right now who they're advising that they didn't hear anything. We still have one report, though, of possible shots fired in the basement of Phillips.
694.
694.
RTF2's in the basement of Phillips.
Really?
Copy,
Sword?
RTF2 in basement of Phillips. 6941.
Shots fired at Michigan State University.
1 and 4. In fact.
Let me show you the alert that went out.
We got a lot of cops over here. We're making entrance from the west entrance.
But
I just want to listen.
copy, making entry at the west entrance of Phillips Hall.
880, go ahead on Township.
I'm not sure who this was. Are you together somewhere?
Yeah, Shane and I are together with a MSU sergeant.
Again, the scanner is on. We're getting information from the scanner.
Make sure you guys were here and coordinated somewhere. By the west entrance of the Union, by the way.
Maybe that could talk to me on North Ops about RTF.
Is there a unit that can switch to North Ops to speak with 347 about RTF?
Negative, dispatcher.
I don't know. I don't know the details right now, guys. Don't know the details. There's been a shooting.
Plug coming into East Lansing at the junction. Cars cannot get through. We need an alternate route to the starting point.
I can't even understand what they're saying.
633, all of that was unreadable.
Oh my god.
636, your traffic was unreadable in the basement.
So there's been a shooting. I know there's some victims. We're just getting the information on the scanner right now.
Is there a unit that was 636 can advise of his traffic?
I'll bring you the latest updates, but I'm listening to the scanner just like you.
215.
Go ahead.
13 witnesses from Berkey we have in the lobby of the museum.
Copy.
Give me myself and 664.
Kids everywhere.
Okay.
694.
Good.
Where's the other contact team at Phillips Hall?
694, you said what about the other contact team?
What floor are they on? We just cleared the terrace level here.
What are the locations of the 631.
Center 1115 on Main.
631. The Union has been swept. We are clear for now. There are a couple doors that we cannot get to. We would like SRT to do a secondary search. We are holding the first floor, the doorways and the stairwells to the exterior, and we're standing by.
Copy. Union's been swept. Clear for now. Need SRT to do a secondary search.
B&O News.
347. Have those units hold their positions, take up key positions to keep it as secure as possible. SRT, LPD starts en route.
Copy. Units at the Union to hold your perimeter spots.
Also hold the interior.
31's clear direct. We're going to hold the interior.
Units, be advised, we just got a...
Interior first health.
Just be advised, we just got a call at Business College, 632 Vogue, advising there's a subject running towards Owen with a long gun, black clothing, and a hood up.
Subject running. You hear that, guys?
Wait, what?
There's somebody. They just got a call about a suspect with a long gun. They just got a call about a suspect with a long gun.
A long john? A long gun in all black with a hood up? Doesn't look like our guy here, does it? Might look like one of these guys in this picture of 3 walking down the sidewalk, though. Like, wait, what? It doesn't look like our perp. Who is that guy? And happy Valentine's Day to you, General Sorrow.
The first floor, the doorways and the stairwells to the exterior, and we're standing by.
Copy. Union's been swept. Clear for now. Need SRT to do a secondary search.
B&O News is...
347, have those units hold their positions, take up key positions to keep it as secure as possible. SRT, LPD starts en route.
Copy. Units at the Union to hold your perimeter spots.
Also hold the interior.
31's clear direct. We're going to hold the interior.
Units, be advised, we just got a...
Interior first health.
Just be advised, we just got a call at Business College, 632 Vogue, advising there's a subject running towards Owen with a long gun, black clothing, and a hood up.
Subject running. You hear that, guys? There's somebody. They just got a call about a suspect with a long gun. They just got a call about a suspect with a long gun, or a subject with a long gun. They just got a call about it.
I want a Long John donut. For donuts.
Can you repeat that, traffic? We have reports of a unknown subject running southbound towards Owen Hall with a long gun. Unknown if it's
could be police.
Unmarked or police in not in uniform.
B&O News.
I'm taking 2 of my Delta units. We're going to go.
347.
Do we have an RTF inside of Berkey?
Affirm, we have the first floor of Berkey held down.
Okay, let's continue to sweep that, please, and advise. Dispatch, we need to set up a perimeter on that unit.
All floors of Berkey Hall have been swept. We're holding the first.
There's Owen Hall.
Thank you.
Do we need a team at Snyder Hall?
No.
All right, where was the call from the basement at?
Central from 1118. Can you show me in service at an MSU?
Berkey Hall.
There's about 10 of us over here on the first floor now.
1118, okay.
Hang on.
All right, we're over at Snyder.
So for units, we're also getting
7.
347.
Here's Berkey
I've got
Hall.
Ellis's RTF transitioning to a perimeter team for Berkey.
Okay. Units, just be advised, we have a caller who's at Anthony Hall advising there's a black pickup truck parked outside but not moving. There is someone in it, and they possibly heard another shot, and then the line disconnected.
Oh, my God.
Is there anyone at Anthony Hall currently?
Pretty sick. Am I going to Business College or am I going to Anthony Hall?
I have a call so far for near Business Complex for the subject with a long gun walking southbound towards Owens Hall, and then we just got another report of possibly hearing one shot at Anthony Hall with a black pickup truck parked outside, not moving, and there is a limit.
A black pickup?
I'm at Anthony Hall. About 6 with me. We're going to check it.
Yeah, I
636's team is checking the vehicle at Anthony Hall.
603.
Go ahead.
Inspection to IQ.
I'm in the area of Owen Hall. Haven't seen anything yet.
breaking news. Hold on, guys.
Breaking news.
Black truck at Charles and Grand River.
Breaking news.
Copy. Charles and Grand River, check 1.
663.
From the school paper, the state news.
No. IQ01 Unified Command.
Go ahead.
I'm on campus. Where's command post at? I got the MCP en route.
Commander gets further down.
Copy.
It's hard to talk over an active scanner.
Anyone clear Phillips Hall yet or no?
Or no.
Good. Any ambulances coming in from both the Mavis strike team response and current units, keep them on fire ground 6. We have a staging officer from Windsor Township. We'll be working with them.
RTF2 is in Phillips Hall. We've cleared level 3, level 1, the basement.
7.
10-4, and I have the building locked.
Go ahead.
5327.
347. Do you have an additional radio channel for Clinton County TAC?
5327. I don't.
I got a team. Owen Hall.
His fingers, man. Google fingers.
In service in vehicle 21. Where is the command post going to be located at?
Copy. It's going to be the president's house. It's going to be 1.
He is good at what he does.
For a unified command post.
B&O heard at least 5 people shot. I don't know if that's true.
347.
B&O also saw this. There's an alert. Shots have been fired at the MSU campus.
10-4.
Oh my gosh, thank you for letting me know that, Wake Up. Wake Up said a truck and license plate number was given and ended up being LE. So did we find out if these 3 people are LE? Because they're definitely not hiding. These 3 with the long guns. And I just want to update everyone, if you're just joining, we did watch the press conference. You're going to have to rewind. I want to keep this relatively short so that people can rewatch the press conference. So we're going to wrap this up, but we're going to wrap it up with the conclusion of our show with the good, the bad, and the ugly, where I read your comments, good, bad, and ugly. We haven't done this in a minute. I haven't had a whole lot of comments your guys' comments are all awesome. Don't get me wrong. But I haven't had a whole lot that were like outlandish. And to be honest with you, I've been so busy with this Idaho 4 and everything else, these balloons and everything else that's been going on, that I literally haven't been able to save the comments like I want to. So I do have a couple, though, that I want to share. And this is the first one. And this was just made the other day. Let me clear this out for you guys. Okay. This is from Legally LC. And this is how we're going to end, because it's so dark and it's so deep and it's so heavy that I have to end on a lighter note. Just so you know, just so you all know, this YouTuber, aka the J is for Justice podcast, and the person behind this channel believes that Chris is innocent, talking about Chris Watts. And he likely and has likely had personal conversations with him. She has made it clear in past podcasts and videos that she thinks Shanann killed the children. Just thought I would offer some transparency, since this creator chooses not to be in this video's description. Now, mind you, this comes from my Chris Watts prison call from 2020. Okay, this call here. Just thought I would offer some transparency, since its creator chooses not to be in this video's description. If you notice, this creator has not liked any of the comments on this video. Well, the video is 2 years old, but since they are 99% in support of how crazy it is that Chris thinks he can ever get out of prison, ever. J is for Justice is almost as crazy as Chris is. I am crazy as they come, let me tell you. It's funny, you guys. Okay, so then I've got one more to share with you guys. We don't have a lot today because that one was pretty packed itself. They took a lot of time. Into writing that one, so. This is a tweet I wanted to share with you guys really quick. This disturbed me. This is what Elon Musk tweeted 7 hours ago. What is this? What is this?
Shall we play a game?
What is going on? Was he hacked, or is he really this nasty? All right, let's get our last comment up. That just shooketh me, so I had to screenshot it and show you guys. You know, if I got to see it, you got to see it. Patty, thank you so much for your super sticker. All right, this is our last comment of the day. This is a good one, though. This is funny. Okay, so Daffy Duck, Daff says, I'm a casual watcher. I generally listen to the replays at work, but the other day, I was home alone and suddenly I shout, Roberta.
Roberta.
Laughing my ass off. I don't even know where it's from, but it cracks me up. This was the best ever. He is a freak. He is a freak. Blech. So thank you, Daff. Right now, Daff is at home saying,
Roberta.
You guys are great. Thanks for sharing. And make sure that you leave some comments so that we can pull them from the comment section. Whoop, whoop. Truth and Transparency wants to take some calls today. I'm down. Text me. And thanks for watching The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. And the conclusion of our show with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where I read your comments. Good, bad, and ugly. All right, you guys, dance it out. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to get with TNT, Dynamite.
The proof is in the pudding, if you will.
And we will get something together. We will.
All
right, dance it out, guys. I'll see you soon. Stay safe.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact.
I don't wanna see I don't wanna see anybody outside.
Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back.